He slapped me in the face and demanded my house key and access to my $25 million savings account. My cheek burned. Tun's gold ring had left a neat crescent on my skin, like he stamped approval on a document. Our daughter Zuri gasped from the top of the marble staircase in our Lekki home, her small hands gripping the banister. The generator hummed alive outside, fighting the evening rain. Tun's cologne, expensive and sharp, filled the foyer as he stepped closer, jaw tight. Key, Idana. And the pin to the Zenith Bank. Now. I lifted my head, tasting metal. You must be out of your mind. He laughed once, cold. Stop the drama. You've hidden that money since you sold your logistics company. I'm your husband. I'm entitled. You'll hand it over, or I'll make sure everyone knows you lied about everything. What did I lie about? My voice came out steady. Zuri stared, trembling. I motioned her to her room. Go, baby. He reached into his pocket and flashed a phone screen, a video of him and a woman in a red dress entering a hotel in Victoria Island. Tund and one of my closest friends, Yolanda, holding hands. If you'd been a wife, I wouldn't have needed comfort, he said. Now give me the key. Rage pressed behind my eyes, but I swallowed it. I looked past him. The framed wedding photo we took in Nairobi, the Kent throw from Accra, our world stuffed into a house that suddenly felt small. You're not getting my house key. And you're certainly not getting my account. He grabbed my wrist. I yanked free. The front door opened, and his younger brother, Kola, slipped in, eyes darting. Bro, you get the key? Not yet, Tun growled. But she will talk. He leaned close, voice dropping. If you don't, I'll tell the church about your domestic betrayal lies, your cheating spouse claims, how you feed them to your clients to sell your women's resilience retreats. I'll stain your name. Lagos is small. I smiled without warmth. I don't need Lagos to know your secrets. Only a judge. Thunder cracked. Somewhere down the road, music from a passing Kiki blared Afrobeats. I slid my phone from my dress pocket. Leave my house, Tund. He squared his shoulders. This is my house too. It will be, I said, until the court order arrives. Kola's smile faltered. Tund blinked. The security door clicked behind them. What court order? Tund asked. I put the phone to my ear. Pastor Daniel? I lied into the receiver. Can I put your wife on speaker? I want her to hear who her husband's mentoring on Saturday night. Tund's face drained. I ended the fake call and spoke in a low voice. One more step toward me, and the video of you and Yolanda in that hotel lobby goes to your office WhatsApp group, your church group, your mother. His jaw clenched, fist tightening. He turned, found Zuri's tiny sandals by the door, and kicked them aside. This isn't over. Not even close, I said, heartbeat steady. What would you do if you walked in on this? Hit like if you've been betrayed, and comment below where you're watching from. Now leave. He did, slamming the door so hard the chandelier sang. I locked it, then slid down to the cool tiles, cheek throbbing, palms shaking. The phone buzzed in my hand. A WhatsApp voice note from an unknown number, a woman's voice with a Nairobi accent. Adana, you don't know me, but you need to check your Accra trust tonight. He moved faster than you think. I stood. Zuri, pack a small bag. Because the next move would be mine. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more gripping stories like this. What do you think happens next? Comment below. I didn't sleep. The rain stretched into dawn, washing Lagos in silver. Zuri curled beside me on the couch, her breath soft. I scrolled through emails and trust dashboards. Accra, Johannesburg, Nairobi. Safes and safeties that once let me breathe now felt like a chessboard with missing pieces. The unknown Nairobi voice nagged me. By 7 a.m., my lawyer, Auntie Ngozi, arrived in Gelly and trainers, a blue folder hugged to her chest. She looked at my cheek, frowned, and touched my hand. I'm sorry, but we'll do this properly. We sat at the dining table. First, she said, we file an emergency restraining order. The slap, the threats, document everything. Second, we freeze joint accounts where he can siphon. Third, we inform the trustees in Ghana and South Africa that any instruction must carry your live video verification. Who called me last night? I asked. Said I should check Accra. She shrugged. Maybe an ally. Maybe bait. But you should check. Zuri patted in hair in morning puffs. Mummy, are we still going to school? Her small voice cut me clean. Yes, my love, I said, smoothing her edges. Routine is our friend. When we reached her school in Ikoyi, Tun stood by the gate in an ash suit, sunglasses on. My stomach dipped. He smiled like a billboard. My family, he said to the security guard. I'll take Zuri today. Zuri's hand gripped mine. Daddy, we are late, I said, forcing calm. I'll text you about pickup. He leaned in, the smile stiffening. Are you sure you want this public disgrace? His voice was soft. You're not the only one with receipts. I'll tell everyone you staged the slap to push your African marriage drama brand. You know they love scandal. I watched a Danfo rumble past, the conductor yelling, CMS. I'd prefer court to gossip, I said. He winked at the guard. See you soon, daughter. He kissed the air near Zuri's head and walked away. After drop-off, I drove to Ikejijere to meet Auntie Ngozi again. She already had a magistrate ready. We got the order, temporary but powerful. In the car park, she squeezed my shoulder. Now Ghana. Today, she said. He's moving. We move faster. By noon, the unknown Nairobi number called again. I answered, putting it on speaker. This is Adana. A crisp female voice replied. My name is Wanjiru. I manage private banking for your Accra Trust. Your husband's requested a family emergency disbursement to a Johannesburg shell. He has forged documents. We flagged it when the signatures didn't match. I shouldn't be doing this call, but women must help women. Relief and fear braided in my chest. Thank you. Be careful, Wanjiru said. He's not alone. I hung up and looked at Ngozi. She nodded. We file notices now. Then, tonight we fly to Accra. I'll ring our contact at Makola Law Chambers. At home, I opened the guest room wardrobe and pulled out the small gray fire safe. Inside lay the thing I hoped I'd never need, a sealed envelope labeled, If Tund Turns Storm. I wrote it 2 years ago after the first scent of infidelity in marriage, when I found receipts for a private dinner in Eco-Atlantic with a woman named Yolanda. I had stayed then for Zuri, for peace. But I also prepared. I broke the seal. Inside was a drive with copies of property documents, trust passwords, recordings of his threats, and a photo, Tund in a pewback corner of our church with Yolanda's hand on his thigh. Pain thudded like drums in my ribs. Domestic betrayal wasn't just a theme, it had become a road. My phone buzzed again. This time, a video from an unknown number, Tund, at a bar in Surulere, raising a glass with 3 men. One of them I knew, Chief Okonkwo, a developer with a reputation for fixing problems. Another, my brother-in-law Kola. The third, a face I didn't recognize. They laughed. The caption burned, Tomorrow, we collect. I pressed save and forwarded it to Ngozi. She called instantly. Collect what? My house key, I said. And my account. She exhaled. Then tonight isn't soon enough. I looked at the door, at the new deadbolt we'd installed just last year. Somewhere in the compound, the gateman's radio played Yemi Alade. I whispered, let them try. The bell rang. 3 hard presses. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more gripping stories like this. What do you think happens next? Comment below. I checked the peephole. 2 policemen stood outside with a paper. Behind them, Kola in a baseball cap. I opened the door but left the chain hooked. Good afternoon, officers. Madam Adana, the taller one said, we have a petition from your husband. He claims you're withholding marital property and restricting access to his daughter. The shorter officer peered around me. We need to come in. I inhaled slow. Do you also have the restraining order from Magistrate Court 3? I held the document up to the chain gap. They exchanged looks. The taller one cleared his throat. Not aware. Then you can't come in. I slid the order through the gap. Serve your DPO. If he has questions, my lawyer is copied. Kola swore under his breath. The taller officer adjusted. We'll return. They left, Kola throwing me a look hot as pepper. Back in the living room, I called Tund. He answered on the first ring. So this is the game, he said. It's called law, I replied. And co-parenting conflict has rules. You want a war? I stared at the family photo wall, Zuri's first birthday in Ankara, my mother smiling in her Iro and Booba. I want peace and safety. He laughed. You'll get neither. Meet me tonight. Eco Hotel coffee shop. Come alone. Why would I? Because Yolanda is pregnant, he said, voice cool, and I'm telling the whole church, the office, and your clients that you chased me into her arms with your coldness and control. Unless you show up and hand over the key and your consent to move 5 million. Emergency family need, will say. I steadied my breath. You're bold. I'm tired, he said. You wanted a brand. Here's content. Cheating spouse destroys saintly wife. See you at 7. He hung up. Ngozi listened to the recording. Do not go alone. He said alone, I said. We'll be in the lobby, she replied. And we'll have eyes. At 6:50 p.m., Lagos glowed wet. I walked into the coffee shop in a black dress and low heels, face bare, head high. Tund sat at a corner table, Yolanda beside him in a flowing red gown, clearly pregnant. The sight carved me. My feet paused, then moved. I took the seat opposite. Congratulations, I said. Is that why you slapped me? For maternity celebration. Yolanda's eyes flickered. She rubbed her stomach and lifted a brow. You like drama, Abi? African marriage drama, yes? Here we are. Tund slid a document across the table. Consent to move funds. 5 million. We'll call it family medical contingency. Sign, hand over your house key, and we'll keep this quiet. I glanced at the page. A lie dressed in legalese. I smiled at Yolanda. Were you my friend before or after you slept with my husband? She flinched. Tund's jaw tightened. Sign it. I looked down at my phone, then back up. No. He leaned forward. Then I release everything. The private videos. Your tears. I'll make you a spectacle. Public disgrace sells. Release it, I said softly. And I'll release the hotel footage, the bar footage, and the pregnancy test you bought with a stolen card. His nostrils flared. And I'll tell your mother before church on Sunday. A shadow moved behind me. The unknown man from the earlier video approached, slipped a small note onto the table, and kept walking. My blood cooled. The note said, check your car. They already put a tracker. I folded the paper under my palm. This meeting is over. Tund's voice dropped. You've just made an enemy. I stood. I didn't make you. You chose. I half-turned, then paused. Oh, and Yolanda? I hope you know he asked another woman to comfort him last week. You're not special. Just next. Her face trembled. Tund stood, fist clenched. Security glanced over. I walked out, breathing through the ache. Outside, the rain had stopped. I clicked my car open and crouched near the rear wheel. Taped under the bumper, a small black tracker. I took a photo and texted Ngozi. Tracker confirmed. Then my phone rang. Wanjiru again. It's happening, she said. The Johannesburg shell just tried a second poll, 10 million. We blocked it. But someone in Accra is helping them. Who? Static. Then a voice I knew slid onto the line, cool and familiar. Hello, big sister, my sister Ifeoma said sweetly. Surprised? Comment your thoughts on the betrayal. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more gripping stories like this. What do you think happens next? Comment below. I drove to 3rd Mainland Bridge with my chest in flames. Ifeoma, my baby sister who sold hair extensions on Instagram, who borrowed my lace wrappers and never returned them, was the ally. In Accra? Memories flooded. The day I paid her rent in Yaba, the time she broke down after a breakup and slept on my couch for a month. Betrayal has a smell, hot, metallic, like burnt sugar. At home, I put the tracker on the coffee table like a dead insect. I dialed Ifioma. She answered on FaceTime, chin up. You look tired, she said. Why are you in my finances? I asked. She rolled her eyes. Your money is family money. We all sacrificed for you. You think the aunties didn't contribute when you went to Nairobi for your MBA? Now you hoard like a dragon. I funded my MBA myself. Semantics, she said. Tund is right. You punish everyone. You control him. You control me. I stared. He pays you. And he loves me like a sister, she said. He said you would never help me expand to Johannesburg. He said you would never finance my salon. He promised to invest if I helped with paperwork in Accra. It's only fair. My chest felt hollow. You helped him forge documents. She clicked her tongue. I just delivered what he asked. The banker, the courier. People help each other. You too, Adana, will learn to help. Zuri peeked into the living room, clutching her teddy. Mummy. I lowered my voice. This ends now, Ife. She shrugged. You can't fight all of us. We are family. The call ended. I fell into the couch, head in hands. My phone buzzed, a message from Ngozi. Court granted emergency freeze on all trust disbursements pending hearing. South Africa trustees agree. Accra is shaky, someone is leaning on them. We fly at dawn. I texted back, bring 2 locks. Change the gate code. Night wrapped the house. I braided Zuri's hair and told her a story about a lioness who guarded her cub, a soft revenge story, for children, no sharp edges. When she slept, I walked the rooms. Kitchen stacked with spice jars from Makola Market, hallway lined with chrome frames, the pantry where suya spice lingered like memory. At 3 a.m. I woke to footsteps. I grabbed the small baseball bat under the bed and crept down the hall. The kitchen door was ajar. A figure in a hoodie stood by the sink. I lifted the bat, turned on the light. Kola spun around, eyes burning. What are you doing in my house? I demanded. He smiled slow. Collecting. I lifted the bat higher. He stepped forward and froze, eyes cutting to the back door. 2 shadows moved there, our security men, drawn by the noise. Kola clicked his tongue, then slipped something from his pocket and dropped it on the counter. A small gold keyring shaped like a heart. My spare house key. My stomach turned. Got this from Ifioma, he said. But it's useless now, Abi? With your new deadbolt. He laughed softly. Tonight was just a message. He moved fast, bolted through the back, vaulted the wall before the guards could grab him. I slammed the bolt and slid down to the tiles, the bat clattering beside me. My phone lit up with a new message. A short video of me at Eco Hotel earlier, edited with sappy music and captions. Cold wife humiliates helpless husband. Hashtag co-parenting, hashtag forgiveness. It was already in 2 WhatsApp groups I was in. Comments bubbled. My brand, my work with women and emotional manipulation, recovery, now a weapon against me. I typed fast. Do not engage. Lawyers on it. Then called Ngozi. They're turning the city against me. She sighed. Then we take it beyond the city. My phone rang again. A number from Johannesburg. A woman's voice. Ms. Adana, this is Msizi from Sandton Trustees. Your husband is physically at our office lobby. Hold him, I whispered. I'm boarding the first flight. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more gripping stories like this. What do you think happens next? Comment below. Accra first. Then Joburg. The morning smelled of wet tar and roasted plantain. Ngozi and I flew to Kotoka, drove past Makola Market's riot of fabric and voices to a quiet office near Independence Avenue. Wonder met us, tall, elegant, in a teal dress, with eyes that saw everything. I crossed a line calling you, she said. But men like him win when women behave. I hugged her. Thank you. We sat in a glass room. The Accra trustee arrived, shoulders tight. He glanced at my bruise, looked away. We received urgency from your husband. We did not act. But someone helped him, Ngozi said. The trustee folded, then unfolded his hands. Your sister emailed from your account. She had your voice on a call. It is sophisticated. I clenched my jaw. Deep fake. Wanjiru slid a folder across. Here's the block history. And the Johannesburg attempt. Your presence will help. We signed. We notified. We recorded statements. At lunch, street highlife music drifted through the window. I ate jollof slowly, thinking how betrayal steals appetite. My phone pinged. A video of Tund in a pulpit, suit immaculate, saying, "Marriage is hard work. When wives shut husbands out, husbands stumble." The congregation murmured. He had dared to turn my pain into sermon content. The caption read, "Forgive your cheating spouse. Heal your African marriage." I laughed once, bitter. He's staging public disgrace as holy theater. Ngozi put down her spoon. Let him. Courts like paper, not performance. From Accra, we flew to Johannesburg. The city glittered hard. Santon's glass towers stabbed the sky. Mzizi met us, small and fierce. He arrived with men, she said. But we recognized the red flags. We held him in the lobby until the police came. They warned him. He loudly. We reviewed footage. Tund pacing in a navy suit, phone pressed to his ear, rage in every movement. Yolanda stood a step behind, face pale. Ifeoma wasn't there. The shell company's director, a man named Leon, smiled at the camera like he owned the place. I signed more papers. My signature felt like a blade. Before we left, Mzizi took my hands. Men threaten. We document. Back at the hotel, my phone vibrated nonstop. Voice notes from unknown numbers. Some women cursed me. Others whispered support. One message made my heart stop. Zuri's teacher. Please come. There was an incident at pickup. We drove from the airport straight to the school the next morning. Zuri sat in the head teacher's office, cheeks tear-streaked. Tund stood with a policeman beside him, hands spread. I have a right to my child. The head teacher raised her palms. Sir, there's a restraining order involved. He smiled. I just want to say hello. I stepped in, throat dry. You brought police to school? He turned slowly. You brought lawyers to my life. I crouched to Zuri. You're safe. The policeman cleared his throat. Madam, can we talk? Ngozi stepped forward with the order. He scanned it, then nodded. Sir, you'll need to leave. Tund stared at me over the officer's shoulder. You think you've won because of papers? Wait. He walked out, Yolanda at his heels, belly prominent, eyes shiny. Zuri trembled in my arms. A knot of mothers watched from the corridor, whispering. Lagos eats scandal like breakfast. In the car, Zuri whispered, Mummy, will Daddy go to jail? My chest ached. I hope not. I hope he learns. We drove home past hawkers selling bottled water and plantain chips between impatient cars. My phone buzzed, a single line from Ifeoma. You made him angry. I typed back. He made himself. Then set the phone down and gripped the wheel as a black SUV slid into my lane, too close, mirrors flashing. It followed us to the gate and idled, engine ticking. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more gripping stories like this. What do you think happens next? Comment below. The SUV waited, purring like a cat that knew the door would open. I called the estate security. 2 guards approached with caution. The SUV rolled forward, then reversed and sped away toward Admiralty Way. My heart slowed inch by inch. Inside, I cooked okra soup to steady my hands. The smell of crayfish grounded me in a way lawyers and trustees never could. Zuri colored at the table, humming Essence under her breath. At 8 p.m., the lights flickered and the generator kicked in again. I checked the gate camera feed. A man stood outside the pedestrian door, head down, hoodie up. I tilted the camera. He lifted his face. Leon, the Johannesburg Shell director. How had he reached Lagos so quickly? I rang Ngozi, hit speaker, and opened the small metal slot. Yes. Leon smiled like we were neighbors. You're good, he said. But you're not perfect. One mistake is enough. Leave, I said. He slid a white envelope through the slot. Court summons, he lied. See you tomorrow. I didn't touch it. Set it on the ground, I said. He did, then walked away whistling. The guards shadowed him until he left the street. Ngozi's voice crackled. Do not touch that envelope until we scan it. I nodded, throat tight. He said I made one mistake. You didn't, she said. He's probing. An hour later, my phone flashed with a live video link. No sender ID. Against my better judgment, I clicked. The screen opened to the back of a private room in a restaurant. Tun sat with my sister, Ifeoma. He took a small box from his pocket and opened it. A diamond bracelet, cold and bright. He fastened it on her wrist while she recorded herself, smiling with her influencer face. Under the video, a caption scrolled, "Family is everything. Protect yours." I felt cold. Zuri glanced up. "Mummy." I turned off the phone and smiled weakly. "Bedtime, love." After she slept, I stood in the quiet kitchen. The fridge hummed. In the dark reflection of the window, I saw a woman who looked like me but older, shoulders tight, mouth aline. I whispered, "Lord, give me wisdom." The intercom buzzed. "Security." "Madam, police are here. They say they have a warrant to search for electronic evidence." Ngozi's voice sounded in my ear before panic set. "Record everything. Ask for names and ID numbers. No one enters without verifying with the court clerk on duty." I went to the gate with my phone recording and the restraining order in hand. 3 officers stood there, a different crew than before. Their leader announced himself as Inspector Balagan and held up a warrant. I took a photo, sent it to Ngozi. She called in 30 seconds. "It's fake." "Stall." I looked up at the inspector and smiled politely. "Come back with the clerk on FaceTime," I said. "We'll cooperate fully then." His eyes cooled. "You're obstructing justice." "I'm obeying it," I replied. He stared me down, then hissed softly, almost complimenting. "You're learning." He turned to go. "Be careful. In this city, papers burn." The gate clicked shut. My phone buzzed again, an unknown number. I answered, ready to hang up. A woman sobbed on the line. "Please. I'm Yolanda's cousin. She's in the hospital. There's bleeding. Tun can't find you. He said you blocked him. He needs your consent for a specific medical release for the baby." I pressed my hand to the wall to steady myself. "Which hospital?" "Eco Hospital, Ikeja," she sobbed. "Please. The baby." I closed my eyes. Compassion and suspicion fought in my chest. "I'm coming." I texted Ngozi the details and asked her to meet me there. Eco Hospital smelled of antiseptic and fear. I rode the lift and found Tund in the corridor, shirt stained, hair wild. He looked at me like a drowning man sees air. "She's losing the baby," he said hoarsely. "Please." I stared at him a long, heavy second. "I'm here for the child," I said. "Not for you." A doctor approached with a clipboard. "We need the father's spouse's consent for a transfusion, given a conflict on file." "You have mine," I said. I signed. The doctor hurried away. Tund bent his head, shoulders shaking. For a moment, the enemy looked human. He lifted his face. "Elijah," he whispered. "If it's a boy, I want his name to be Elijah." Something inside me cracked and healed at once. "If he lives," I said, "raise him well." We stood in silence. Then his phone pinged. He glanced down and flinched. I saw the message over his shoulder, because fate is an unkind director. A selfie of Ifeoma wearing the diamond bracelet, captioned, "Come through, Santun King." The sender, Leon. I stepped back like I'd been slapped again. "Your mistress is in surgery, and you're still running deals with my sister and your thief?" He looked small. He made to speak. I lifted my hand. "Don't." The doctor pushed through the doors, face grave. "We need to talk, now. Share this with someone who loves drama. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more gripping stories like this. What do you think happens next? Comment below." "The baby survived," the doctor said. Relief swept the corridor. "But Yolanda needs rest. Severe anemia. She asked for you, Ms. Adana." "Me?" My voice stumbled. "Why?" Moments later, I stood by Yolanda's bed. She looked small, eyes ringed with bruised moons. The baby lay in a warming cot, fists balled, a stubborn little fighter. Yolanda reached for my hand. "I'm sorry," she whispered. Tons stood back in the doorway, unreadable. "I'm not the person you apologize to," I said. Her voice trembled. "I didn't know about the money, the plan with your sister, all of it. He told me you would never forgive him, that he had to set his life up, that you were cruel." Tears spilled. "I wanted love. I got this." I folded my arms to hold myself together. "We all wanted love." She stared at the baby. "He named him before you came. Elijah." She touched the cot. "I want him to know peace, not co-parenting conflict and courtrooms." She looked at me again. "You are a better mother than I am. Help me protect him from the mess we made." My throat closed. "I'll protect him because he is a child. That's all." Tun's phone buzzed again. He walked out to take the call. A nurse adjusted the 4. Yolanda whispered, "He's worse than you think." "I know," I said. She swallowed. "Leon blackmails him. Records everything. Your sister, she thinks she's in control. She's a pawn. They plan to push you into a legal trap where you look abusive. They'll leak edited videos. Public disgrace. After that, they'll argue you're unfit to manage the trust." I felt a strange calm slide over me, a warrior's quiet before battle. "Thank you," I said. On the way home, the city hummed. Billboards glowed, rainwater winked in potholes. I stopped at a pharmacy for baby supplies, diapers, wipes, small onesies. It surprised me, this urge to prepare. Home smelled safe again. Then the power blinked. My phone flashed with notifications. The edited video had dropped. I watched it, jaw tight. Me at Eco Hotel, clipped to look like I mocked Tun's pleas, a cold wife in a villain's cut. The caption, "If you've ever been hurt by emotional manipulation, forgive and move on." 1 million views in an hour. New keywords screamed beneath: infidelity in marriage, domestic betrayal, cheating spouse. I typed Ngozi, "It's out." She replied, "Good. Defamation suit tomorrow." Also, the Central Bank Compliance Unit flagged Leon's company. "We might have a lever." I smiled without humor. "Pull it." At midnight, my gate intercom buzzed again. Security's voice wavered. "Madam, your sister is here. She is crying." I opened the pedestrian door myself. Ifioma stood in the glow of the compound lights, mascara washed to ash. "They turned on me," she sobbed. "Leon took my phone. Tun said I was too loud. They locked me in a room to go through my accounts." I jumped the balcony. I stared at the scrape on her elbow, the fear in her eyes. Betrayal has a twin, repentance. Sometimes they arrive in the same dress. "Come inside," I said. She collapsed onto the couch and clutched a cushion like a lifebuoy. "I'm sorry, sister. I wanted a salon. I wanted to feel important." I crouched, the bruise on my cheek fading to yellow. "We will fix what we can." She sucked air. "There's one more thing." Leon said, "They found a judge. Friendly. Tomorrow. They will try to seize your passport and freeze your movement." My phone buzzed, a calendar alert I didn't set. Court. 9 a.m. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more gripping stories like this. What do you think happens next? Comment below. Morning broke hot and impatient. We drove to the courthouse with 2 cars. Mine in front, estate security behind, Ngozi riding with me, Ifioma between us like a child after a nightmare. Zuri stayed with our neighbor, Mama Bizi, who sent me a voice note prayer that wrapped me like Gelly. The courtroom was crowded, ceiling fans clacking. Tun sat at the opposite table with Leon and a young lawyer who looked slicker than his suit. Yolanda was absent, still recovering. The judge, austere and bored, called the case. Tun's lawyer stood. "My lord, this is a simple issue. The respondent, Mrs. Adana, has weaponized finances. She slanders our client with false claims of cheating spouse and domestic betrayal to build her business. We request immediate access to funds for the welfare of the unborn child, now born, and for our client's living expenses, plus a temporary seizure of the respondent's passport to prevent flight." Ngozi rose like thunder in silk. My lord, what is simple here is the law. There is a restraining order due to physical assault. There is an ongoing investigation into attempted fraud through a Johannesburg shell directed by that man. She pointed to Leon, who smiled without teeth, and there is clear evidence of defamation through doctored videos. We request the opposite: protection of the respondent's assets, supervised visitation for the child, and an order restraining all parties from online harassment. Tun's jaw jumped. Leon whispered to him, eyes narrow. The judge tapped his pen. Where is the alleged evidence? Ngozi gestured. Screens lit. The true video played, then the edited one. The judge leaned forward. Then we showed the bar footage, the tracker, the counterfeit warrant scans, the banker statements from Accra and Sandton. The weight of paper bent the air. The judge nodded slowly. This matter is no longer simple. He scribbled, spoke, scribbled again. Then, I grant temporary protection of the respondent's assets, supervised visitation twice a week for the minor child, and a gag order for all parties. Any violation will be treated as contempt. Passport remains with the respondent. We reconvene in 30 days. A murmur warmed the room. Tun stood. My lord. Sit, the judge said without looking up. Outside, heat slapped our faces. Ifeoma exhaled a prayer. Ngozi smiled for the first time in days. Round 1. My phone buzzed again. A voice note from Yolanda. Thank you for the diapers. Elijah is breathing fine. I told the nurse to put your name as emergency contact. I need a woman who is not trying to eat me. I swallowed hard. Across the courtyard, Tun stalked toward us, Leon at his shoulder. You think you won? Leon said, voice ablade. Courts are only one battlefield. The street eats law for lunch. I stepped close enough to smell his cheap aftershave. Then I won't dine on the street. I turned to Tund. Be a father. And this. He looked at me with something like longing and something like loss. You were always better at endings, he said. Then don't make me finish you, I replied softly. That night, I tucked Zuri into bed, then stood in the doorway listening to her soft breaths, a metronome steadying a broken song. My phone lit up with a message from an unknown Ghana number, a photo of a signed deed transferring a plot in Accra, one I didn't know we owned, to a new company in Nairobi. Beneath it, a caption, miss one move, lose the game. The sender, Wanjir. I stared at the name until it blurred. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more gripping stories like this. What do you think happens next? Comment below. I called Wanjiru immediately. She answered on the second ring, voice softer than before. I'm sorry. I couldn't say this earlier. They pressured me. My supervisor. A politician's nephew. I flagged it but they cornered me. That deed, small now but it opens a door. My chest tightened. Why send it to me? Because I remembered the bruise on your face, she said. And because my mother raised me to fear God more than men. We can still block it, I said. Yes, she replied. But you must move now. I hung up and called Ngozi, then Mzizi in Sandton, then our contact in Accra. We set a chain in motion that hummed across 3 cities. I changed into flats and a simple Ankara dress, kissed Zuri's sleeping forehead, and told Mama Bizi we might be late. At dawn, I was at Murtala Muhammad again, Ifeoma at my side, penitent and practical. On the plane, she held my hand. I will testify, she whispered. Against Leon. Against Tund. Against myself. Testify with receipts, I murmured. She nodded, opening a folder of screen grabs and bank alerts. Accra felt different now, the air, the light. At the land registry, we found the clerk in a blue shirt with weary eyes. It's already logged, he said. But not final. You have a small window. Ngozi slid documents across. Mzizi patched in by video. We argued statutes and timelines until the clerk, half moved by law and half by conscience, gave us what we needed, a hold. Outside, a boy sold chilled water from a cooler. I bought 2, poured the cold into my hands, washed my face with the street's blessing. Ifeoma leaned on the building and sobbed, short, hard sobs that hurt my ribs to hear. My phone vibrated. A new video, again from the shadow accounts, me in the courtroom corridor, hugging Ifioma. The caption, "See? It was all a plan. Sisters scamming husbands. #revenge story." My breathing slowed. They didn't stop. They would never stop. Back in Lagos, I found a quiet corner of the house and recorded my own video. I looked straight into the lens and told the truth in simple words about domestic betrayal, infidelity in marriage, emotional manipulation, and the lies being spread. I did not mention Yolanda's baby or Tun's threats. I mentioned only the court order and the police impersonators, and I asked women who had suffered in silence to document, to find lawyers, to keep proof. I didn't cry. I didn't preach. I just told the truth. We posted it on African Tales by Ben, with still images, city streets, the courthouse, a kitchen table with a single tea mug. Within an hour, the comments filled with women aged 55 plus from Atlanta to Abuja, from Nairobi to New York, writing of marriages that broke and mended or broke and freed them. The algorithm did what it does when honesty and craft meet hunger. Tun called. I let it ring out. He texted instead, "Meet me at the house. Alone. Last offer." "Public place," I replied. "Police present. Lawyers present." "No," he wrote. "Or I tell Zuri everything." My fingers trembled. I typed, "You won't weaponize our child." Then I shut off the phone, put my face in my hands, and breathed. At dusk, a knock came at the back door, a gentle, rhythmic knock like a neighbor's. I opened the inner screen. Yolanda stood there, pale but standing, Elijah tiny and warm against her chest. "He said he was coming here," she whispered. "He's not well. He's unraveling. I don't want the baby near him tonight." "Come in," I said, stepping aside. We put Elijah in Zuri's old bassinet. He slept like all babies sleep, fierce and careless. Yolanda sat on the couch and stared at her hands. "I called my mother in Port Harcourt," she said. "She said, you built your house on stolen sand. She's not wrong." "We will pour concrete now," I said softly. The power went out. The generator failed to catch. The house fell into thick dark. A shadow shifted in the corridor. I reached for the bat, heart a drum. A man's voice floated from the dark, familiar and broken. "Adana, please. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more gripping stories like this. What do you think happens next? Comment below." I held the bat in both hands, feet planted. "Turn on the lights," I said into the dark. A click. The bulbs buzzed back to life. Estate power restored. Tun stood in the hallway, suit wrinkled, eyes red like he'd wrestled with the sea and lost. Behind him, 2 estate guards hovered, unsure. "Let them wait outside," I told the guards. They stepped out, closed the door. Tun looked past me at the bassinet. Yolanda rose, chin high, mother brave. "You can't take him," she said. He shook his head. "I didn't come for him." He looked at me. "I came for mercy." I said nothing. He sank onto a chair, palms to his eyes. "Leon recorded everything. He owns me. He owns the video man, the officers, the judge's clerk. He said if I don't deliver 10 million by Friday, he'll leak worse. He'll send men. He said I should make you give me the key." That slap. His voice cracked. I saw my father's hand when I did it. "I hate it." I stood. He looked smaller in our home than he ever had. Yolanda held Elijah and swayed, a lullaby on her lips. Ifioma stood in the doorway, face washed clean of pretense. "You ruined our home," I said quietly. "You made me a target in my own kitchen. You made our daughter fear her front gate." He nodded, shame a stone around his neck. "I know. I know." I sat opposite him. "There's a path," I said. "Not back, forward. You confess. On record. You sign statements against Leon. You return every stolen naira. You accept supervised visitation. You step back from my accounts, my company, my name. You face the church with truth. You apologize to the women you hurt. You help the police. And you do not step in this house again without permission." He swallowed. "And jail?" "Maybe," I said. But truth is the only bridge left. He stared at his hands, the hands that once held mine at a courthouse in Nairobi under a sky the color of hope. He nodded slowly. I will. I opened the drawer and took out the sealed envelope marked, "If Tun turns storm." I slid a copy of one statement across, the path he would take, the names he would name. We go to the station now, I said. You speak. You sign. Ngozi meets us there. He reached for the paper with shaking fingers. Thank you, he whispered. I stood. This is not forgiveness, I said. This is protection. We moved together like people who once knew each other's steps. Outside, the estate smelled of wet jasmine. We drove in 2 cars to the station in Ikoi. Tun talked for hours. Names, dates, accounts. He cried once, quietly, and then kept talking. The officers recorded, Ngozi guided, Msizi and Wanjuru patched in for cross-border handoffs. By dawn, there were warrants. By noon, Leon was arrested at Murtala Muhammad trying to board a flight. The fake warrant officers vanished, new ones replaced them. The judge's clerk resigned. The edited videos were taken down under court order. The truth sat in the light like a tired queen. That evening, I sat on the back steps with Zuri and watched Lagos turn purple. From the kitchen, Yolanda hummed while warming Elijah's milk. Ifeoma chopped ugu, her apology in every slice. My cheek had healed to a soft yellow echo. My heart had not healed, not really, but it beat steady, which is its own miracle. Tund texted from the guest house. The police kept him in while they arranged safe transfer. Thank you for not throwing me away, he wrote. I will spend the rest of my life being a good father. If you ever forgive me, I will be grateful. If you never do, I will still be grateful. I typed back, be a father. Be a man. Be quiet. I looked at Zuri. What do you want to eat? She smiled. Indomie and egg. Deal, I said, standing. Before I went inside, I opened the African Tales by Ben channel and typed a final message beneath the story video. To every woman who has survived domestic betrayal, infidelity in marriage, or emotional manipulation, document, protect yourself, and know that the law, slow and flawed, can still be a road. Thank you for watching, for sharing, for reminding me that we are many. Then, because we live in this world now, I added, if this story moved you, like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs courage tonight. Where are you watching from? I closed the app and walked back into my kitchen. My house, my child, my life, keys still mine, account intact, and the night soft for once. Share this with someone who loves drama. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more gripping stories like this. What do you think happens next? Comment below.